It took 1,000 years in the West as Rome was overrun by Visigoths migrating away from other invaders. The result was continued attacks and chaos. Trade stops, peasants fled, then over the centuries new power structures developed, including Charlemagne in the 8th and 9th centuries. Italian elites created city-states, including Venice, Genoa, and Florence. French kingdom started with Hugh Capet. William of Normandy invaded England and conquered much of Britain. The feudal Middle Ages were created across Europe. There was the Holy Roman Empire in Central Europe with fealty to the Pope. The Kingdom of Bohemia was part of the Holy Roman Empire. Feudalism had rulers, usually kings, vassals from dukes to peasants. A legal system was developed with military and economic obligations. There were three estates: nobility, clergy, and peasants, also called lords, vassals, and fiefs. Bound across a manorial system, all had fealty to the Pope and strict adherence to papal dogma. Knights were heavily armored, mounted warriors, roughly below the aristocracy, with military and other obligations to their lords, granting knighthood. They followed a code of conduct called chivalry. They seem to have emerged during the reign of Charlemagne around the year 800, when he was conquering much of Central Europe. Rewards for success usually included tracts of land with the standard feudal obligations and benefits. The status of knight meant the importance of military training and experience. Their entourage included pages and squires. Knights typically had their own manor, where the productive work was mostly farming, with limited trade, usually to nearby towns or a few wandering merchants. Wheat and barley were the primary grains for bread, porridge, and beer. Then vegetable gardens, orchards, and livestock. This was a low productivity system, with the peasants at the bottom having a strenuous life with a poor diet, primitive housing, and horrible sanitation. Serfs without land ate at subsistence levels. The major foods were dark bread with no or limited milling and homemade ale, plus whatever vegetables they grew, usually for pottage of peas and beans, and perhaps fruit in season and a limited amount of meat. The food got better based on wealth. Lords and their retinue ate particularly well with available local produce, plus the ability to buy from towns and trade fairs, including white bread. Meat was likely with bacon and mutton common, fish on religious holidays, perhaps wine. Training for combat suggests the knight ate a lot, with considerable meat and lots of choices, which varied across Europe. Charlemagne was known to favor roast, made obvious because of his severe gout. Milk products were common, and cheese was an obvious food, as beer and wine were more likely the drinks of choice. They were not known to be fans of vegetables. The Crusades were a nightly affair with a considerable supporting staff to reclaim the Holy Lands for Christianity and the Pope, and, presumably, a direct route to heaven next time on Food, History, and Mystery.